confounded the Christian evangelicals by proving conclusively that most of the people in the nation of Israel and in world Jewry are not the descendants of Abraham. Those living today who profess to be Jews are not the ancient Israelites, and they are not the seed of Abraham. In fact, new DNA research shows that the Palestinians actually have more Israelite blood than do the Jews. Isn't that pretty revealing? And I think that's absolutely true, and I've suspected that. The nation of Israel today is populated with 7.5 million imposters. Now that's pretty revealing. The Jews are not Jews, but are Khazarians. The newest DNA science finding is from Dr. Ilan Elhaik, a Jew, and associates of the McKusick Nathans Institute of Genetic Medicines, Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, and research accepted December 5, 2012, and published in the Oxford University Press on behalf of the Society of Molecular Biology and Evolution. It was found that the Khazarian hypothesis is scientifically correct.
The second question you asked was genetic drift. Genetic drift is when we have these mutations that are by chance, that are random, and they accumulate over time. Now, the more time passes, the more of these mutations accumulate. And if a tribe moves from one place to another, two things can happen. They can maintain marriage within that tribe, in which case they will preserve the original signature of the first tribe that they left, and allows us to make connection between these two. The second thing, they can start mixing with the local environment, like almost always happens, and then they will for a while show a mixed signature, and then depends on the level of mixture, they will start moving toward the hosting tribe. If we're looking at the first strategy, if they maintain marriage within the tribe, over a very, very long time, they will not be identical to the original tribe anymore because of this accumulation of random mutations that only happen in this tribe, but not in the original tribe. It happened in the original tribe too, but different random process. So they're not going to be identical, and over time, they're just going to be split. Now, the extension of these splits depends on how much time is passed. And that's genetic drift. Now, in the populations that we're talking about, Ashkenazic Jews, we're looking at 1,000 years. That's not enough time for random drift to create completely separate things. However, you mentioned it, and that's very good because it's a chance to refute another myth. Random drift has been used to explain why Ashkenazic Jews are different. When you compare them to the Palestinians, they don't look like Palestinians. When you compare them to English, they don't look like English. So they said, oh yeah, they because they married each other, random drift took its shot and created this unicorn. That's not true. They're just not being compared to the right populations where they came out. If you compare them to the population we mentioned, these Southern Europeans, Turkish populations, you will see much higher similarity. Genetic drift does not act so quickly.
Are you familiar with the Khazar theory? There's a theory, it's widely accepted as anti-Semitic, that Ashkenazi Jews come from the Khazars and they're not left to you. But DNA tests...
It's not anti-Semitic, it's a question of fact. So, Shlomo Son, for example, has argued that, I think probably exaggerated, but it's simply a question of fact. If my ancestors from the Ukraine have Khazar roots, changes nothing. I'm Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish. My family happens to have a story saying that we're descended from the Baal Shem Tov. Okay, that's part of the culture. Doesn't matter what the DNA shows.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
the New World Order is basically made up of the Khazarians, I think. And so when a college comes out and says this type of stuff, you know, I would have thought maybe the colleges were controlled by the New World Order. But this, you know, we're just going to have to take a close look at this. What exactly is the Khazarian hypothesis? Simply stated, it holds that the Jewry genome is a mosaic of ancestries which rise primarily out of the Khazars. Jews are Khazars, not Israelites. The Jews of